As if Victorians haven't been mistreated enough, they're now stuck in lockdown for another 24 hours or more, even though they only had one COVID case in the past 24 hours. And that one was, again, a known contact, somebody already in isolation and not spreading the virus amongst the community. What a joke. The unnecessary damaging lockdown should be over, but it goes on. And the acting Premier has the nerve to say this.
This is a good day. This is a good day. Everyone should be absolutely proud of what we've all achieved together.
Achieved together? You've shut businesses, you've ruined funerals and weddings, kept kids from school. While you tidied up an outbreak you never should have needed a lockdown to tackle. What nonsense they spout, and they're indulged and supported by far too many in politics and the media. They actually portray themselves as good guys with patronising words for their citizens, pretending they're doing everybody a favour.
We always said that we would ease restrictions, carefully ease the rules. Where we can, we would. And Victorians have done an amazing job following through the rules and getting tested.
Oh, please. You've hurt Victorians because you have no confidence in your own measures and you treat every infection as a disaster. You make no allowance for most of the vulnerable being vaccinated and most of the cases being either asymptomatic or very mild. And even now, you don't open up today or tomorrow. You wait till midnight Thursday. Schools don't go back till Friday. And why the delay? For paperwork, apparently. Yet still, Victorians are supposed to thank this government when they aren't even fully opening up, just taking their unnecessary lockdown and turning it into an unnecessary partial lockdown.
So for Melbourne, that means the 5 reasons to leave home will no longer apply in metropolitan Melbourne. The existing 10-kilometre limit will be increased to 25 kilometres. That means the only reasons to go further than 25 kilometres will be for work, education, caregiving or getting a vaccination. Travel into regional Victoria still remains a no-go for now. We're also still not in a position to be able to have visitors in our home, but outdoor gatherings will be increased to a maximum of 10 people.
Wait to hear what else you're not allowed to do or you're allowed to do. Wait for more gifts from your benevolent acting Premier. As for those numbers I showed you last night, how Victoria's infection leaks from hotel quarantine are 3 times higher per positive case than for New South Wales. Well, the Chief Health Officer tried to deny that reality today until our own Julia Bradley held his feet to the facts.
We still have the biggest issue of any state. Can you tell us why that is?
I don't know that we have the biggest issue of any state. As I said, we haven't had the most number of breaches from hotel quarantine.
With 1 in every 42 positive cases a breach.
Yep.
So that is the highest rate of any state.
There will be ongoing challenges with hotel quarantine. We just need to continue to investigate and improve as much as possible.
Yeah, well done. You've got to hold these people accountable to the facts, not their spin and rhetoric. Still, there was a revealing answer from Sutton today. He explained that despite the vaccines, despite our healthcare capacity, despite the mild cases, despite talk about flattening curves and living with this virus, it's really about making sure there are 0 infections.
It is an awfully painful period. I've always had in mind that we need to do what's required to make sure that we get back down to 0. There is really no alternative. Our national strategy of aggressive suppression is there for a reason. If you don't get to 0, there's no grumbling along with 1 or 2 cases. This started with 1 case in Wallet that has led to almost 100 cases over a period of a few weeks. So we absolutely have to drive back down to 0.
There it is, unofficial but clear as a bell. These people are running an elimination strategy. This won't work, this can't work, and the time to ease up on it is right now, now that most of the vulnerable are vaccinated and the vaccine rollout is continuing with everyone else around the country and hardly anyone is getting seriously ill. Now is the time to insist that no state imposes a lockdown again and no state closes its borders. That'll be tested again in the next few hours, actually, with the news this afternoon that a couple have driven from Victoria to Queensland, apparently in breach of the rules, and they've taken the virus with them. One case so far, the 44-year-old woman has tested positive. Her husband has not as yet. So let's just deal with this sensibly, hopefully, but I expect a fair bit of hysteria. We've got to end this self-harm soon. We have been protected by our hotel quarantine barrier. We need the whole country now to be as sensible as New South Wales has been. Meanwhile, Melbourne is feeling some of the pain. It lost its Queen's Birthday footy blockbuster. That game between Melbourne and Collingwood shifted to Sydney this Monday. And now it's slipped down the rankings of the world's most livable cities. The Economist's Global Livability Index list that Melbourne has topped more often than not over the past 2 decades has dropped the Victorian capital down to 9th this year, or equal 8th, some are saying. Lucky to stay in the top 10, you'd reckon. What's going to rankle Victorians even more is that Adelaide is now the highest ranked Australian city, coming 3rd behind Auckland and Osaka. Still, Sydney has been pushed out of the top 10 into 11th place, which just goes to show these people actually have got no bloody idea.